All right, Miss Beth, you can take it away.
Am I unmuted? There we go. Welcome back, everybody, to Notary Stars Unlimited. Today is October 19th, 2022. Why am I fuzzy?
This ain't no jukebox. It's a real live band.
Yep. Today is October 19th, 2022. This is a once-a-month free event hosted by Notary Stars and Unlimited Ink Notary. My name is Beth Hathout, and I've been a notary for over 20 years. I'm also currently the lead instructor for Notary Stars. Please note, if you are listening to this episode live and are in your car driving, remain off camera and in listen-only mode. And if you're listening while you're driving, please watch the road. We love you and we want you to be safe. Tonight, I'm joined by my counterpart, Mr. Ronnie Mickle, who is the original founder and co-owner of Notary Stars, the most robust notary signing agent training company on the web. He's also the co-owner of Unlimited Ink Notary, a nationwide signing agency. Our guest tonight is Ms. Sue Hope from Notary Assist. She presented everything you need to know about Notary Assist during our boot camp session or boot camp week. Today's episode is titled Accounting and Tax Preparation for Notaries. If you missed the first presentation, Ronnie will be posting the replay link to that in the chat tonight. This makes our 10th installment of this series. And if you missed any of the previous sessions, feel free to visit the replays on www.notarystars.com/unlimited. If you missed last month's session, we encourage you to go watch it, as we talked about a lot of updates that are now available to your Notary Stars listing that you may want to take advantage of. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/C/Notary Stars. Any of those free events that we post will notify you immediately upon release. For instance, Mr. Mickle just released an absolutely free training on how to set up your Google My Business page just a few days ago. That's very valuable, and he did it all for free. The sessions for this series are planned to fit to where you should be at this point in the year with your notary business. And tonight's session is important because we're going to be talking about end of year, a term every notary knows, or if you're new to the industry, you'll know soon because it's a little more chaotic than just end of the month. Before we get started, we do have a couple of announcements to make. First of all of the Notary Stars boot camps for the year have been posted to their appropriate categories within the Notary Stars library. And you should have received an email last week about their placements. So if you have any problems locating them, don't hesitate to shoot us an email at help@notarystars.com, and we'll help you find those. We'll send you a direct link for whichever one you want to look at. Just make sure to include your membership ID in that email. Next, we wanted you to know that Ronnie's been working on getting all of the winners from the boot camps set up with their prizes. And if you haven't heard from him yet, he promises you will by this Friday at 5 p.m. Believe it or not, after boot camps, there's a lot of catching up for all of us to do. Holy cow, that was a mouthful. But, you know, we've always got a lot to talk about here at Notary Stars. So now, Mr. Ronnie, are you ready to kick us off for this tonight's session?
I am, and I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I know that you guys come for guidance in your careers. I know that you come for education and you come for fellowship as well. I love what we have going on here, and I was so overwhelmed. So I did a flash sale on, first of all, let me back this up. I posted recently on our YouTube channel, and we have been really working on our YouTube channel so you can find the free information as well as when you are a member categorized on the website. I do want you guys, if you can, to subscribe to the channel. I just posted, and I know that there's a lot of courses going around $75, $150, 300. You get calls every day. Let me help you get on the first page of Google. That is Google My Business. And it really burns me up that our notaries, and I mean my fellow colleagues, are paying lots and lots of money for Google My Business, which is absolutely free. And if you are not very tech savvy, I have made a video, so you do not need to pay anybody any amount of money to set up your Google My Business. There is no real maximizing it. You just need to fill out every field and fill it out with keywords that really pertain to what you're doing. I go over that in that video, and if you haven't seen it, we post it in the Facebook group. If you're not in our Facebook group, join. We don't post a lot of hoopla in our group. We really get to the point, and we do all these things live with you. So that video is absolutely free for you to access and watch. But I did a flash sale right after that because I know that there's a lot of you that are trying to market your notary business, and my marketing course is an additional $24.95 to our $25 monthly course. So on the first page of Notary Stars, you will see all of the a la carte marketing. And the biggest one is the SEO course that I did. I had 100 people sign up for the live course, and it's been bought about 100 times since. No negative feedback on that course. If you own your own website and you're not ready to take the full plunge, please, please, please take a look at my SEO course. The price is $25 for what people paid over, I think it was $75 or $100 to attend. I never discount my marketing, and this is not about notary work. This is about getting your website and competing and showing you how to really expand and dominate your search area, because you have a lot of competitors these days. So that is on sale until Friday, until $25, and then I am not discounting this stuff again. I really feel really strongly about my expertise when it comes to marketing a business. I do it for Notary Stars and Unlimited Ink, and I teach you in that video in 3 hours or less everything that I do every single day for our websites to get them to come up in the search rankings, including all of your listings. And Unlimited Ink, you can't throw a rock in Arizona or any market that I want to be in without hitting us. I can teach you exactly to do the same, and it's only $25 until Friday. With that said, I do want to create a reminder for you that this year we've kind of taken a different turn with our blogs and our podcast and Notary Stars Unlimited. It really started last year with Notary Stars Unlimited, but I feel like we've become into this great rhythm with you guys. And I just want to take us back before we get into tonight's topic. We put out right before the industry took a turn for higher interest rates and everybody started freaking out and all these things. We started putting out calm blogs about, hey, we've been there before. Beth's been there before. Travis has been there before. I've been there before. The industry is actually no different than it was pre-COVID. Okay. It's just that a lot of you that are watching or going to watch this replay might not have been here for the first time that this happened. And this will be a great learning experience for you, but I promise you everything's okay. And I would like to invite you to go back and read our blogs on notarystars.com. They're there for you, and we really spent time talking about it. Abraham and I filmed it, and we incorporated it into these types of sessions tonight. One of the ones I want to take you back to is end of year planning. We just finished that up on Notary Stars Unlimited. Just want to give you some quick reminders before we get into tonight's topic, because they kind of lead together. Okay, we're now at the end of the year, and we are in that last quarter, October, November, December. Okay, it is so crucial for you guys, if you have not from the last episode, to get into your listings and update them this weekend. Okay, if you're watching the replay, do it now, because it'll be you'll be watching this when it does it. The reason for that is we talked about in some of those blogs all the dead listings from notaries who are throwing their hands up and saying, I can't do this, or I got to go get a full-time job. You're now competing with what I call dead listings, where people are calling and calling and calling and going, I can't find a notary to save my life. And then they stop, and then they go to a bigger agency that you're not marketing for. So it's crucial that you get your updates, and make sure I put a little thing, because we're coming out of post-pandemic. I say, put a little note right at the beginning, updated on SnapDocs and signing order and everything, so that you have a little marker of the last time you updated your listing. Notary Rotary, if I'm not mistaken, does that for you. And it's a really good factor. So it shows somebody that you have a pulse, that you're active, and that you're working. Okay. If you do it every quarter, you're going to be looking great. We did a great video for you. I think it was in the last quarter, and it is public on our YouTube channel. It is called What happens before your job becomes your job. And Travis walks you through the entire lending process. It is so imperatively important for you to understand what your clients go through so that you can service them better. Okay. When you understand the entire lending process, like your from when a signer applies for a loan, whether you're getting a refi or they're purchasing a home, and how long they have to wait and the documents they have to produce, and then what happens at the lender and why lenders are late with documents, and then what title does, and then when it comes to you, when you just understand that entire process, you become a better signing agent. It helps you have a better conversation with your customers. And right now, here at the end of the year, we get busier. Okay, COVID or not COVID, or higher interest rates or not, people are trying to close out their fiscal year. So you really need to understand what your clients are going through, especially at the end of the year. It's going to help you have better conversations and you're going to get more work. I do want to remind you, and we have 3 more little reminders we're going to get in tonight's topic. How you perform at the end of the year is going to affect how you perform at the beginning of the year. Okay. Mistakes that you make when it gets slow at the beginning of the year, they're going to remember those if you mess up at the end of the year. So it is key to be on point as much as possible. We're all going to make mistakes, but do not be one of those notaries that say, I'm booked till next week, I can't fix this mistake for you. If you take a file, you have to service it till the end. That means even until the minute it closes. So just remember that as you get toward the end of the year, because they're going to remember you in January, how you performed at the end of the year. And they're going to make their decisions when it's slower. They're going to give it to those notaries who did the hardest work that they could. I make mistakes too. I've used that example before where I walked into, and I'll say her name, Tracy Greenhouse's office, and said, I know you're never going to use me again. I made 3 mistakes in a row. And she goes, no, that's why I'm going to use you, because you always catch your mistakes and you fix them and I don't have to do anything. And if I do tell you anything, you go running like a chicken with his head cut off to go fix it. She's one of my best clients. We've been together for now 6 years. I still work with her office, and some of my unlimited ink notaries probably know her face or know her staff. But you seriously just want to make sure you're giving them the customer service. If you make mistakes, that's okay. It's not about being perfect. If we were perfect, nobody could afford us. I wanted to remind you, and this kind of leads into our topic for tonight, and I'm keeping these light. We did a whole episode on these. Title has to close out its books at the end of the year, and so do you. Okay, so come January 30th, you need to be paid for everything you did in, the last year. So all title agencies have to close out their books, and you're going to see people reaching out to you and saying, hey, we don't have an invoice for, or you need to get us an invoice, or you need to be reaching out and making sure that your payments are closed up and coming, because it's actually like kind of a law for them that they have to close out their books. And I have to do it at Unlimited Ink every year. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth. They get so busy at the end of the year, things change, jobs change between the last day of the year and the beginning of the year. Sometimes I have to go hunting for who the next person is in line to go get those invoices paid. But they have to close out your books. I do it every year. I spend a lot of January chasing after people who haven't paid 6 months ago. So you have to get into that too. And it is part of being a notary. I wished everybody kept up with everything, and that, everything wasn't little paper checks and it was all electronic and it was all immediate, but it's not. So part of being a business owner and a notary business owner is you have to understand title's got to close out those books. So come January 1st through 25th, you need to be making sure that you have got that conversation running on your payments. And then you have to start preparing for next year. Now, before we get into the tax information question, I just want to say this, and I have to say, I work really hard on the emails that I send out and the blogs that I send out, and it never fails. One person will always respond with something really negative, but I get all these emails. Like, I think for the tax one, I got about 100 emails. It's probably about, thanks, this was great, can't wait to Notary Stars, and I appreciate those coming back. But it's the one guy that responded that said, calm down, Mr. Mickle. Taxes don't have to be filed until next year. And I loved when Glenn Hill was on, because I pointed it out. She said, you need to start now, because this is when you need to start looking at your beginning of the year. You don't want to, as a business owner, go through that stress of trying to pull everything together at the last minute. Part of being a business owner is being a professional adult and getting yourself in order with doing it. Remember, and I keep saying this, and I've been saying it over and over and over again because I want to instill this in you. You are not just a notary. You are not just a contract worker. Every single one of you is a small business owner. And if you are not looking at things like taxes, you are allowing people to make you feel that you are not a business owner. So you have to take pride in that and put your efforts into that. And if you don't understand it, that's okay. I didn't either. Travis helps me so much. I'm good at a lot of things, but I have to tell you, this is all similarly freshly new to me. I've never had a company this large in the notary world. Travis is putting all my books in order and working with an accounting team. But I took that first step of starting to dig and learn. And now I'm starting to be able to have conversations about it with you guys. So if you find yourself in that boat, don't be afraid. This is a really great first step for you here tonight. So the first thing that I want to point out to you is at the end of the year, you need to make sure that you update your W-9 with any of your direct clients, SnapDocs, and signing order. And before anybody chimes in and raises their hand and says, the IRS says I only have to update my W-9 every year, read your contracts. A lot of the title agencies say that you have to have an updated W-9 each year. They don't care what your IRS says because they need your address so they can close out their books. So they will delay your payments, unlimited ink included. Make sure that if it's in your contract that you have to have an updated W-9, that you update that W-9 and you get it done. It needs to be a part of your process. If you ever move, it is an inconvenience to have to do it. But in the middle of a year, you update your W-9 because that's where your tax information is going to come at the end of the year. And I do know that we have a Notary Star that's moving currently right now because I was working on the website with them. So if they're listening, once you get that new address, make sure that you put that W-9 out with the new things. Next thing that I want to talk about, and we have Miss Sue here tonight from Notary Assist. Miss Sue, you are have the ability to unmute yourself as a co-host. I welcome you here tonight. If you guys go ahead and say hello, Miss Sue.
Hello. I was just trying to be kind. I was waiting not to interrupt or overtalk. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here.
You are
I'm
welcome here
excited to be
anytime.
back. What's that?
You are welcome here anytime.
I love it. This is so fun. I totally appreciate it. I know taxes are probably not the most exciting thing to talk about, but it is for me.
Yes. Now, the reason I introduced Miss Sue is she's actually another point on the blog that I wrote. And I want to make sure that you guys understand why she's here and why I'm putting a spotlight on her. So you guys know that Notary Stars is an informational highway. We open the doors to all training courses. We open to all accounting softwares. I have to say, Notary Gadget has also presented here. Notary Assist is also presented here. Full transparency, I have never used Notary Gadget. I do get a commission when you guys sign up for it off the website, just as the same with Notary Assist. However, I was a client and still are a client from Notary Assist. It was my preferred accounting software. And the reason that I have it now, even though we use QuickBooks, is in case I want to access, and I know she has a cheaper plan, like if you just want to keep it and access your books from previous years, I decided to keep paying it because here's what I know about Miss Sue and Notary Assist, okay? She has her heart in the notary world, not just her software. And I'm not saying anything against Notary Gadget. I don't have a relationship with them like I do Miss Sue. But the reason that I have this relationship with her is anything that I post on LinkedIn, she's liked it. Anything that we post on Notary Stars, she's not just doing it for us. She's supporting the notary community and watching notaries and encouraging them. And I run my business that way. I mean, you guys know sometimes people say I'm a little preachy, but I'm actually just very passionate. I love that Miss Sue really puts her heart into this community as well as her product. And I feel like she has a great soul and cares about what's going. And there's a point to this. So when I was up and coming and, SnapDocs wasn't a thing, but I am going to say this, and this is true, and they can come sue me for saying this if they want to. Please clip it and send it to them. People like to do that to me. But they have a free accounting software. And when you put your client's information, let's just say it this way. Nothing in life is truly for free. When you put your client's information into a free accounting software, what do you think happens with that information? there is a button in there or something happens, because I get it all the time at Unlimited Ink for the notaries, the newer notaries who are using, and I try to call them and tell them. We get emails all the time saying, and I'm just going to throw a name out there because it's the first face I see. Christy Rudd would like to invite you to use SnapDocs to find, to better connect and find more notaries. And if you plug in a title agency that's not using SnapDocs, you are now giving them the ability to market to your clients. And I don't think that that's fair. And again, it's a free accounting software. It looks great. You don't have to spend any money on it. But Notary Assist, Miss Sue, what is the price per month on Notary Assist again?
The price point per month is $8.99 or $95 for the whole year. If you do the whole year, we don't have to pay the recurring charges to the credit card company, so we pass that savings on to you.
Yeah. So you're getting, for just $8, the fact, imagine if you do have one direct client and then they wind up switching. You've now spent way more than $8.99 or $95 a year. So it is just in your best interest to have an accounting software that is not mining for information. And I don't have any 1000% proof. Gotta say that, so clip that too. But there's no one mining your information at Notary Assist or Notary Gadget. They're not in the business of selling your clients information. They are in the business of helping you get prepared so that you can invoice your clients, keep your notary business organized, you can get paid, and file your taxes. Okay. So I want to make sure that you understand that you are using a trustworthy accounting system in order to run your notary business. And I just have to plug this. Most of you will never need to use QuickBooks or will understand it, or at least if you do, good for you. I don't.
I don't understand it either.
I pay people to do that, but I will tell you it's really complicated, and don't try to overdo it. Your businesses, truly, Notary Assist or Notary Gadget are the two major ones that I've seen out there that you guys can use. There's always something up and coming, but I will tell you, Miss Sue has been around for a long time. For being 22 years old, she's been around for a long time in this industry.
Right.
And she really cares about our industry. And if you guys have any questions for her tonight about Notary Assist, she will be here to answer any questions about that and help wield some of these tax conversations. Now, we did a boot camp where we invited Miss Sue and Glenn Hill in, and they gave us a whole presentation about taxes. And one of the biggest takeaways some of the biggest takeaways that we pulled from that is knowing how to track your mileage, okay? And tracking your mileage. You can track to and from appointments, to and from UPS stores, meetings, seminars, office supply stores, post office, anything that you're going to do for your business. And I will tell you, when you are one of those six-figure notaries or getting close to it, it gets harder to track your mileage. It is so hard. And guess what? The first year that I really made it, I didn't track it until the accounting girl that I use, which is ADB DocSign. She couldn't be here tonight. She sat me down and she's like, "Are you an idiot? Like, are you an idiot? You could be saving." And she made me go back and backtrack and put in all the mileage. And it was hard. Luckily, and if you guys ever need any assistance with this, not everybody all at once, but we are able to hire people like out of the country who we can just say, "Here's all the addresses. I need you to Google map them and, figure out everywhere I went," and they'll do it and they'll get it done. And it only costs a very small charge. We can help port you in the direction of finding a service like that. Another thing that she pointed out is you want to scan all of your receipts. And, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm remembering from 2 weeks of knowledge that has been pumped into my head. There are scanner apps on your phone, but you definitely want to get a PDF version if you can of these receipts. That's going to be much more beneficial to you than a photograph. So you do want to come up with a good scanner app. And if anybody has any that they want to post into the chat, please post those into the chat. Those are coming, resource free, commissions free. If anybody knows of a good phone scanner, because you want to make sure you keep a copy of your receipts. You want to get into a habit of taking your picture. Now, if you're with Staples or Office Depot, you can plug in your email address. Anytime you shop there, they're going to email you the receipt. Make sure it's going to you know, the right business email, and that you're organizing those receipts. Business cards and business loans that have interest rates, you are able to write off interest. Interest is tax deductible on your business cards, not your personal credit card that you commingle or intermingle. So it is best to have a credit card if you can for your business. And if you can't get a credit card, that's okay. You can use a business debit card, put your funds in there and spend from there. It doesn't have interest, but any of those banking fees are actually tax deductible as well. So you want to make sure that you are keeping track of any fees that you're paying. If you have a business bank account, all of those fees are tax deductible. If you have a business credit card, all of the interest rate is tax deductible. She did recommend that you keep a separate bank account, one for business, one for personal, so that you can better track your expenses. You want to make sure that you do have a business bank account. And I will be honest with you, Travis has put me into this mode. The Unlimited Ink Notary account I grew from Ronnie Mickle, and Travis has taken control of the books and really gotten things done in the last 2 years that I wouldn't have known how to do. This has been a 2-year journey just getting to this level. You know, Unlimited Ink only reached the heights that it did in the last 5 years. And only really this level in the last 3. So, and we're still going, but it's been a learning experience. So if you don't know these things, nobody's talking down to you about this. This is about creating awareness and getting your mind moving in that right direction, because there's no shame. Because how many of you, just out of curiosity, because this has happened to me, how many of you actually thought, I'm going to own a business one day? I'll tell you something, little Ronnie Lee at 18 in high school, definitely never thought I thought I was gonna be working for people the rest of my life. Even in college, that's what I thought. I thought I gotta get out and get a job. And then I got out and got a job and thought, I don't like this. There's gotta be a better way. And thank God I found this industry, but I still didn't know everything. And that's why we have these things, so that we can shorten that learning curve. You are learning it. If you just started in the last 3 years, you are learning it 8 years before I did. I did things differently until the last little bit. So I'm just trying to help. So nobody's talking down if you don't know these things. You want to track all of your expenses: phones, supplies, software expense, internet, business memberships, office space, advertising space, payroll, education, legal and professional. One thing that I want to make sure that you guys understand: Notary Stars, if you're a paid member, is tax deductible. You are coming here for education. It is also a listing site. You cannot double dip. You choose which one you're using it for. If you pay $10 for a free member listing, then I would say put that under your listing category. If you pay $25 a month for, you know, our education program, or $49.95 if you're in the marketing program, then you write that off. Those things are tax deductible. If you trained with Bill Soroka, Sign and Thrive, you bought his book, you took loan signing systems, you took Notary to Pro, every single one of those are tax deductible. And if you're brand new and you took all those courses, please write them off, because the IRS expects you to lose money in your first couple of years. It is very first 3 years, Miss Sue is holding up. It is highly unlikely that a business is profitable right away. Our industry is lucky in the fact that we have very little startup costs, but in the first 3 years, it looks really good to have these write-offs for you. And if you come out better, why not get it right in the beginning? So NNA background check, tax deductible. NNA membership, tax deductible. Every dollar you've spent, your mobile printer, your mobile scanner, anything that you bought to do this business, and if you have got so much time, it is October the 19th as of this filming, 2022. You have time to go back and find out everything that you can write off and make sure that you get it plugged into Notary Assist. Now, the next thing is track your marketing expense. If you pay for any ads, if you're on Notary Stars at the $10 free membership verification, that's a marketing expense. Notary Rotary is a marketing expense. Notary Cafe, $5.95, just the price of a coffee every month. Well, those coffees gone up. We all know that we don't drink the $5.99 coffee. We drink the $7.95 coffee from Starbucks or Dutch Brothers or whatever to do that you go through. Very few of us actually drink a black cup of coffee for less than a cup of coffee. But make sure that you are keeping track of that. Now, one other thing that she wanted to bring up to us is she brought it up in the video about setting up retirement plans. Now, this is something I am not very well versed in, but it is something that Travis is very well versed in, and he has been helping me get on the road to that. I do know that we have a nice partnership with Primerica, and what I mean by partnership is that we refer people to them. I have my personal retirement plan set up through Primerica. I am not a Primerica representative, but we do invite them in from time to time. If you are interested in Primerica, we do have a link on our website to people that can help you from Primerica, set you up with life insurance, and also set you up with investment plans. That may not be the route for you. Some people do not like Primerica or the word of Primerica, and that is okay. Everybody gets to have their own opinion and choice. And I may change my mind one day. But you do want to start looking into, IRAs, Roth IRAs. You want to look into putting money into a retirement plan that is going to work for you while you're working. It's going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to be invested, and you're going to get money back from that. As a small business owner, no one is looking out for you but you. Okay, there's no HR going, how can we make these employees' lives better? You have to be that HR person. And as a small business owner, you are the HR. So you handle all customer disputes and you plan for the employees' futures. Now, I'm going to run down this list of things to avoid. She said, don't guess on your mileage or expenses. You want to be exact on those things in case you ever get audited. Don't wait until the end of the year to get organized. See, it came back. It's not just me saying it. It was on the notes from the video. Don't combine your notary income or other income in one accounting software like DoorDash, Uber, unless you can identify them separately. So let's break that down, because you guys know I'm the king of side hustles. I have an Uber sticker on my car, a Lyft sticker on my car. I'm a rover.com. I have a YouTube channel outside of all the things I do in notary world. I have Notary Stars. I have Unlimited Ink. Let's see, what else have I been known to? I am an Amazon Flex driver. What else am I signed up for? I do field inspections. I have a lot of stuff that I'll do, and you guys know if I can make $10 doing it, I'm gonna do it. So don't combine all those incomes. And as I read this, I'm thinking I have got a lot of work to do this weekend, because
I'm like, how do you keep all that straight? If that's Travis, he's amazing.
no, I'm still learning, but all of those have fortunately gone into one bank account, and then I pay myself out of that. So it'll just be a matter of figuring that out and separating them. But things like Lyft, just as a side note, like I've probably done Lyft a few times in 6 years. I'll be honest with you guys. I hear some notaries sometimes saying, it's really slow and I don't have anything to do, but I'll tell you something. If I wasn't making money right now, guess where my rear end would be? I'd be out there in that car driving around Phoenix, waiting for somebody to ping my car, because I have no shame, and I will get out there and do whatever it can to get money coming in. So if you're doing things like that to get extra income, make sure that you're separating those. Let's get back to those do's and don'ts. Don't assume, and this is another great point, don't assume a hiring company will send you a 1099. You need to track your income. So this is something that I brought up in the blog, and I want to tailgate on this. When you get your 1099 back at the end of the year that you need to report, you need to be able to compare that to what you actually were paid. And here's what happens at the end of the year. Let's say you get a 1099 that said you made $1,000 in that year from this company. I'm just using round numbers. And you were only paid in that year $500. You are now prepaying taxes on an additional $500. Now, if you worked a lot with a company and they did that to you and they're busier at the end of the year, you may be paying taxes before you need to pay taxes. You could die and leave that money to your family. So just make sure that you are not paying on taxes or paying higher taxes because they didn't do their accounting right. You are only taxed in January on money that you made from January 1st to December 31st in 2022. That's what you pay for in 2023. That's where your accounting software comes into play. And you say, hey, this doesn't match up with what I was paid. I did this many orders. This is what I was paid. And I have not received the funds for this amount. I need you to amend this. So, and I will tell you, my first year setting out 1099s at Unlimited did a lot of amendments because I didn't know that. And that's why I put it in there, because I did that to notaries and I didn't know I was doing it. And a few of them came back and said, and I wound up doing them for everyone. So, and you know how expensive that is? $8 a 1099 on e-file. That's a lot. We process 3,000 transactions a month. So you live and you learn, but I'm letting you know now on the other side, I'm thankful for those notaries who spoke up and knew those things because they didn't pay higher taxes. And you may be working with, there's so many brand new signing agencies out there. So there's a new one born every day. You may be working with someone who doesn't know this information. And so if you are, you need to be able to catch them. And it's not like, haha, I got you, catch you. You need to be able to catch it, you know, like a net and say, let's work together and professionally bring that to them. Next point is don't forget about quarterly payments to the IRS. Ms. Sue, do you want to comment on that? Because that's something that I don't do. I do it yearly.
Well, so a lot of people do just a yearly or an annual payment, but it sometimes benefits people like us who are independent contractors and we get a 1099 because we don't have the employer making the withholdings from each paycheck on our behalf. So in lieu of a W-2, when your company used to take the withholdings out for you, now we're 1099, we get the whole check. That's awesome. It looks great in the bank account, but we have to be prepared for what we rightly have to pay. So by doing a little calculation or breaking it apart each quarter and making estimations, this is something that's not always required, but it's called an estimated payment. So you can make an estimated payment to your state if required. Some states don't do income tax, or federal. So you can actually break it down and pay little bits each quarter so that it's not as much of a, oh my gosh, I got to pay that much, because you've had it the whole time. So it's a great way for you to prepay it and take it in little bites instead of having this big thing due at the end of the year. So it's not always required. However, if you get to a certain tax bracket, it will be required. And then they will ask you to make payments quarterly. And then it will become, you have to pay X amount by this day. But it's most of the time, it's when we're independent. And if we're not making a certain amount of money, you don't have to pay taxes till the end of the year. But it helps you, even if you don't want to pay if you don't want to pay into the system beforehand, at least put it into a savings account. Do the math and at least make the estimated payment, let you still sit on it, let you grow the interest on it, but at least have it somewhere so it's not as hard to stomach the payment at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for chiming in on that, because I would have never got those words out of my mouth. So I appreciate you for that.
My pleasure.
The next thing that I want to point out to you guys that was something that notaries need to know is that we do not pay self-employment tax on notarial acts, but we do pay income tax on all earned income. So what does that mean? And I'm going to try to explain it, and then I want Ms. Sue to come back and correct me if I get it wrong. You
go for it, Ronnie. You got this.
So notary stamps, let's say Arizona, correct? Because that's where my feet are planted at the moment. In Arizona, it's $10 per stamp. If I conduct a loan signing and I'm paid a signing agent fee for $100 and there are 4 notary stamps, I am able to write off $10 of that as for self-employment tax, because there are $40 toward that signing fee that's not taxable. Is that correct, Miss Sue?
Almost 3/4 of the way. I give you a solid B on that. So
okay, thank you.
So basically that same example, Ronnie got paid $100. Each one of his stamps is valued at $40. What we would do is we subtract that 40 from that 100, and the only portion of self-employment tax you would pay is on the difference, which is the $60. So instead of paying on all 100, you're only paying on 60. But there's a lot of other layers to the onion that kind of still need to be pulled back. So it's a complicated subject, but in a nutshell, your notarial acts can be exempt from self-employment tax because of our public service. So the IRS allows us to exempt that portion of our income. So we have this exemption, but is it the best thing to exercise? Now, what do I mean by that? If you're trying to make a large purchase, like a car, or qualify for a home, or do some, or trying to get a better interest rate on your credit card or something, you may not want to exercise your exemption, because what does that do? It's lowering your income. So by exercising this exemption, we're actually lowering the amount of money that or revenue that you're making. So if that makes sense. So now you may not qualify because we reduced how much you make annually.
That's
So
really,
you kind of see that you've got to have a plan. Either way, you want to have a plan. It's a great exemption to have, and it's a great thing to exercise when it works right for you. The other thing I'm going to throw out there too is, where does self-employment tax go? It goes into Social Security and Medicare. So it goes into a bucket that you can pay into over the course of your lifetime when you're working. Now, if you don't pay into that bucket, what happens when you're retiring? There's not as much to pull out. So if you're brand new to this and you're young and you may not have worked much in the workforce, you may opt into paying it so that you're paying more in. It's kind of a little bit of a savings account for you so that you can draw on it after. If you've already worked your 30 plus years and now you've retired and this is your side hustle, I might exempt that because you've already paid into it for 30 years. So it's all dependent upon your unique situation, which is why we highly encourage you to talk to a tax professional that helps you map out what is best for you, because each one of you on this call, each one of us has a unique tax situation. It's not the same. So don't compare. That was, I think, one of the other things that Glenn said on that call last week was, don't compare yourself to somebody else, because what's right for the other person doesn't even count for you. So you can't compare. Don't look side to side, up, down, side to side. Focus on what you need to do for you and your business to be successful.
I think that last little statement that you made is probably one of the most important things that we could have heard tonight is, don't look at the person next to you. Your taxes are your responsibility and your future. So how it applies to you, I agree with that. You know, you should take the route that's going to be. We have all different ages here at Notary Stars, and we have, we did a whole series with Miss Carol, God rest her soul, called Primetime Notaries, for those who are probably in that older age bracket where you may want to use those exemptions. And we have a lot of notaries that are just starting their career at the earlier part of their working age, and that may be something that you want to think about. So thank you for bringing even more light to that for us.
The self-employment tax exemption is an incredible thing. There's only a few people that get it. Notaries are one. I think religion, like if you're a pastor or a rabbi or a priest, they get to do it, and farmers. So that's it. I mean, there's really, and part of the reason that it's so important to get the right tax professional is to understand this exemption. So if you really want to utilize it and make sure you're utilizing it to its max potential, you want to make sure you're working with the tax professional that understands that exemption and how it works, because it's not the norm. It's not something that everybody gets to do. So I'm going to allude even more. Ronnie's job with that he can do Lyft and Uber. Guess what? That's a 1099. None of that income is self-employment tax exempt. Even though he's a notary, he's not acting as a notary when he's doing that. So that part of his income is separate from his notary income. And that's kind of where Glenn was alluding to. You have to separate things because each revenue stream has different advantages and or tax advantages. So you have to be aware of that. And that's why you have to separate everything out.
Yep. Thank you, Miss Sue. Now, everybody, I'm going to be posting in the chat. This is the last bullet points, and I want you guys to copy this and write it down. I'm going to read it out, but please do take a moment to go to that chat, highlight it, and copy it. This is the last points that Miss Glenn brought to us on the tax conversation about finding a tax professional, whether you work with Miss Glenn Hill or not. She says, do they offer experience with notary self-employment tax returns? That should be a question that you're asking the person that you're going to pay. If you're not doing the taxes yourself and you don't understand that, is do they have experience with notary self-employment tax or tax returns? Make sure that they are secure with submitting and receiving communication and documents. Fees, do they charge per tax form or per line? Okay, that is I don't even know.
Huge.
Travis does all that, but I can just see right now, is it per form or per line? Because there's a lot of line on tax documents, right?
There's a lot of lines, so get
You know,
get
and
that
some of
up
them may not
front.
even apply to us, right? Is if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly,
You know,
exactly.
you
So
can see the deer in the
my-
headlight looks for me because I don't do our taxes. Travis is on that. Are they current with all tax education requirements, tax law changes from last year? Are they staying up to date? Are they like you? Are they attending events, you know, like this in their realm of the world, you know, staying up to date? When was their last certification? What do they know? Did they just start this year? Not saying that someone brand new couldn't do your taxes, but how much experience do they have and are they up to date? And how do they store your tax return and documents? That goes without saying. How are they storing your personal information that could be, you know, used against you one day? How are they going to store that information, and how can you retrieve it, and is there a cost for that? So those are the key points that Miss Glenn put in. Now,
I'm going to jump in with one more if that's okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And one more is, are they going to be there for you should you get a letter from the IRS, or if there's an audit or a question regarding a tax return? Will they help you navigate those uncharted waters? You know, having somebody that's going to work with you to navigate that is super helpful. It takes the stress out of it. It knows that now you're a partner working through it together. You feel like you have an ally, because trying to do that yourself is very challenging. I don't even think you can get a tax person at the IRS on the phone very easily. You're sitting there for hours. So see if there's a way that they will work with you, or if they have something like that to help you should something like this happen.
Now, guys, I didn't lead you down the road with a deer in a headlight look. I really, Miss Beth went through, I will be honest with you, I was reading notes from the last session. I was there and I was very present. You can see it on video, but Miss Beth actually went through and itemized everything that we talked about in that tax preparation video. That was one of our boot camps for our paying members. However, I do feel, and it's in the contract at Notary Stars, I do reserve the right for anything that is paid content to help the notary community. If I feel that it is beyond just our memberships, I really want to get the word out about this. I'm posting it in the chat, and I will also be, it's been free on our YouTube channel, and I let you guys know the night that we were doing it. I'm hitting send right now into the chat. That is the exact link for Notary Assistant Presents and Accounting for Notaries. That is the conversation that we are now, and don't take this the wrong way, dumbing down a little bit tonight. We're not being so, here's Notary Assistant, here's accounting. We wanted to have an overview for the free members, but I want to get you guys that information for free. You know, we do all the training on loan documents that we can, but these conversations are really beautiful for the notary community, and I appreciate you spending your time with us tonight. I would like to open up the floor for any questions. I see Miss Beth has been patiently got her hand up there. I would love if you could just raise your hand virtually to get in queue if you have any questions, and we're going to do our best to answer these. Now, we are not tax professionals, okay? We are a software that gets you prepared. Miss Sue Hope from Notary Assist is a software that gets you prepared to file your taxes. I'm learning things about it. Miss Beth has done her taxes for a long time, but just to let you know, we're going to do our best. And if we don't have the right information, we're going to point you in the right direction. Okay. Miss Beth, why don't you go ahead, because you were first in queue.
There are just, oh, look, I'm not blurry anymore. There are a few questions from the chat that I wanted to get presented to Sue really quickly, and then we can go with a hand raise. So there's one from Wanda Boyd, and she wants to know, she says, can you assist your information from Notary Gadget or another notary software to Notary Assist. And I think she's asking if you have an import feature.
The answer, I think that's what she's asking too. And please, if we're not getting the question right, please feel free to either put it in the chat or raise your hand. The answer to that is yes, we do have an import feature that we can move data from Notary Gadget into Notary Assist. So if you are a Gadget user and you want to see the Notary Assist platform, you can bring your data with you. Right now, that is the only platform that we have an import feature for. So if you are interested in that, you just would need to send support@notaryassist.com. I'm actually going to put our contact information. Oop, calm. I'm trying to type fast, sorry. Support@notaryassist.com. That's a dot, not a comma, sorry. Is the way that you would reach out to us, and we can give you the steps of what it would take on that. We are actually in the process of automating that update so that you can do it all through your account in Notary Assist, but right now it's not completely released. So you would have to actually get us involved just to help you get that imported. And then once it's in your account, it's your account, it's your data. So yes, we can import that for you.
Perfect. Thank you so much. One other one real quick, and then we'll go to Debbie with her hand up. This one's from Elizabeth Pearson. She wants to know if you can write off equipment, even if you bought it in 2021.
Ooh, that's a crazy out of my lane answer, but to the best of my knowledge, I am not a tax professional. And so I would highly recommend that you talk with your tax professional. Usually it's the year in which you purchased that equipment, unless you've depreciated it and you've made an amendment that you're depreciating that over a certain amount of time. I'm getting out of my lane, but usually it's in the year that you purchased it, unless you've made arrangements to depreciate that. You would have to take that up with your tax professional.
And I do second that knowledge. That is a question that I have asked a couple of times, because, you know, we buy things and computers and technology and cars and stuff. So I second that. That is the information that I got from the person who files my taxes. Miss Debbie?
Hi, thank you very much. I started using Notary Assist July 1st, and now I'm going back and entering all my older data. And do I always have to use the calendar to pick the date, or is there a way to manually enter the date? Because I have the computer with the 10 key on the right-hand side, and so I'm very fast in keying a date. But
versus arrowing back 1 month at a time. Yes, that is a pressure point that we are aware of. And once you get caught up, it's not going to bother you at all. But going back is a little bit challenging. We are aware of it. We are trying to make that a type field, but right now it's just arrow through. So I apologize for that pain, but we are working on it. And once you're caught up, you'll be so excited that it auto populates the date for you. And moving forward, you shouldn't have that issue. I'm so sorry.
Just painful this year. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
You go a full year back if you click on the date.
So you can go a full year back. Did you see that part of it? That we do have there's the double arrow, or where you can jump all the way forward for 1 full year. So that helps you jump further ahead. But I understand where your pressure point is, trying to get to that 1 month. You might have to, it might, I do understand the seesaw that you are in.
Any idea what time frame you'll have the numerical entry?
The numerical entry, I do not have a release date on that, but we are actively working on it. It could show up as soon as a deployment, or I don't know exactly, because that's not my team directly. So I put in the requests and then they tell me when it's going to happen.
Thank you.
But we will definitely look into that. I after all of these kind of events, I come back and I have a meeting with our team, and we'll see what we can do to get that expedited for you.
All right, we're going to move on to Miss Danielle Hill out of New Jersey. Miss Danielle, how are you tonight, and what is your question?
Hi, everybody. So my question is, I know that you can track your mileage when you're going to a customer. Is there a way that you can also track your mileage if you're not seeing a customer, but you're just doing something that is for business so that you can kind of keep all of the things in one place? So if I'm going to the bank or Staples, can I put that in?
Absolutely, Miss Danielle. I love that question. And yes, we have a section that's called extra mileage. It's specifically away from the appointment. We obviously automatically gather the appointment data or the appointment mileage when you're going to your appointment and back. It's a round trip that we can calculate for you. But if you're going to get your oath sworn in, or if you're taking part at Staples, like you said, going to get supplies, anytime that you do a business trip, you can actually type it in under extra mileage. It'll have a date field. It'll ask where you went. It'll ask your round trip mileage, and then we will put it into your mileage report automatically via date order. So you'll see all of your appointments on your report come in, and then you'll also see your extra mileage come in, so that we have that all in one report for you at the end of the year. It grabs all of that, whether it's in your signings or in extra miles.
That's great. What kind of reports do you have? Is there too many to
love
list?
that you went further into that question. I was hoping to set that up for you. So we actually have approximately 7 different reports. So we have profit and loss, we have income, we have unpaid, we have the signing type report, we have the tax report, we have the mileage report, and we have the expense report. And we also have a summary report. So for those of you that like to do your own taxes, whether it's TurboTax or Intuit, we grab the main lines of data that you're going to need to put into your as you're working through the taxes. We have your totals. So we'll have your total income, your total amount for Schedule SE, your total mileage, your total expenses, because they want the totals on some of these pages. So we have a summary sheet for that. But then all of the other reports are much more detailed to give you a better insight into your personal business.
That's great. How about memorization? So do you have an area where, say, if you do a particular type of job all the time, will it remember kind of like a template so that you can just pop in your numbers and set it up for a customer? Is there?
Okay, I think so we have a lot of customization inside a Notary Assist. So if you have the same expense over and over again, it will remember the expense. If you're going to the same location, it's going to try and find the location as you type in. We're integrated with Google. So as you start typing a location, it's going to try and automatically find what's closest to you with that address. And then when you select it, it will type ahead. So it'll be something that is remembered. So we try to do as much memorization as possible. What you're referring to at your specific question is a replicate or duplicate a signing, and you're just wanting to modify it. We are in the process of actively developing that technology so that you will be able to replicate or repeat a signing that you do on a regular basis. It's in development right now. It is not released yet, but we hope to have that to you soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for the questions.
Thank you. Now, I would like to call last call on questions at the moment. I see lots of questions still coming in the chat, and we're doing our best, but we do have to keep this down to a finite moment. We did do a boot camp where we elongate these things before, but this, has to be kept to a moment. Plus, our users on the East Coast, we're going into 9:00 p.m. for them. We have.
I see. Yeah.
Up to Miss Sonia. I'm going to call last call in the last 30 seconds. So if you do have a, if you happen to have a question, please get that hand up. We will stay here for you as long as that virtual hand is raised. Next question is coming from Kristen, and I want to make sure I say this. Is it Wise?
It sure is, Kristen Weiss. I know Miss Kristen.
Hi, everyone. How's everyone doing? I just have a quick question, but I do want to give a shout out to Sue. She's amazing, as authentic as it gets. I've been using her software since I went full time almost 2 years ago. I've logged, I don't even know, I think 1,400 closings or something. Anyhow, it's amazing. It's easy. She's fantastic. She's always follows up when you have questions. She helped me get my taxes squared away for this last year. And I will have to say my tax guy wasn't aware of the law, but he looked it up and figured it out. But I did get the IRS coming back asking to collect thousands of dollars, but because they submitted it electronically and it's like their automated system flagged it, it was easy. My guy, I've used my tax guy for years. Anyways, he followed up with them and it was all cleared and I didn't know anything. So anyhow, it was awesome. I just had a quick question for you, Ronnie. Do you have to be a member to be able to access the different trainings like the Google My Business stuff, or do you just need to create a login, username, password to get access to those?
So if you are a member of Notary Stars, at the Notary Star membership level, you are able to access all of our training for loan signings. Notary Star Plus Marketing unlocks everything from the marketing course. If you're not ready to take that plunge, you can look at the direct marketing or the SEO course that is on the front page. But if you are looking for the Google My Business, it is on our YouTube page. And actually, while we're doing this, I'll look it up and post it in the chat for everybody. I did that video because there are people charging twice that what it would cost for a whole year of training with me 2 days a week to just do Google My Business. So I'll post that in the chat, especially if you're looking for that. But if you want everything else, you can either buy it a la carte per course, and it is on sale this week, or you can join me and take an entire journey and have access to someone who's doing this every day, all day, every day.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This saves so much time.
And then the next question up we have is from Miss Angela Parks.
Hello, everyone. Ronnie triggered my question about when he mentioned about keeping both business and personal separate. So right now I'm using software called Banktivity. It's kind of like Quicken Home and Business.
Okay.
That keeps each account separate, even though there's business and personal. So I'm curious if anybody has any software they're using that will work on a Mac and a PC laptop and their iPad and their Android phone. And Beth helped me ask the question correctly. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling. Does your software have a ledger and the ability to connect to the bank? And that makes sense, is what I'm really trying to ask. Once profit and loss and everything is done, the income is shown, can that income and such be ported to whatever software I'm using?
Gotcha. Okay. So question number one is Notary Assist will work on all platforms because it's web-based. So it's lives on our servers. So you can access it by just logging in from whatever device you're on. So if we have native apps that are both available for Apple and Android, so you can get them from the app stores. Once you have your account, you can access it from your computer, your laptop, your desktop, your grandma's desktop, your brother's computer. It doesn't matter where you are, as long as you have your credentials, you can log in to notaryassist.com and go straight to your account. So that should answer question number one. Question number two, do we have a ledger or an ability to connect to the bank to help you reconcile, is what I'm guessing that you're looking for. We do not have that feature at this point in time. We are looking into it, but we haven't begun any kind of development on that at this point in time, but we have had a request for it before, but we haven't gotten to that stage of development. So we're still doing some research on how we could connect to it.
Okay. Okay.
I hope that answers that question.
It does, because previously I tried using Quicken. I don't particularly like Intuit as a company. I don't like them. So that's why I'm still with Banktivity, because I haven't found a good alternative. But as long as I can get reports out of one thing and bring it to the other, even if it's not automatic, I think I can still do it, because if I can get a flat file, I can get a flat file into Banktivity myself.
Okay. So the other thing that would be helpful for you possibly too is we offer a free trial. And so does Notary Gadget. They give you an opportunity, we give you an opportunity to try our full software suite. So you have access to absolutely everything for 30 days. This may not be the smartest business decision that I've chosen, but I did it this way because this is how I like to be treated. I don't even ask you for a credit card to do the free trial because I don't want somebody to hijack my card. And when I'm busy, now all of a sudden I've paid for it for 3 months. I didn't even use it. And now I'm frustrated and I'm out money. So the only way that you actually are billed by Notary Assist is when you actually say, subscribe now, I'm ready to pay for it now. So that means you have to initiate the decision, but you get 30 days or 20 new appointments, whichever comes first, to try out Notary Assist, to access it, to try, play with it, ask questions. The one thing that I will say that I separate myself from a lot of our competition because we are accessible. If you call our phone number, we answer it. So we actually physically answer it. It's not even an automated system to press 1 for this, press 2 for that. We actually say, hello, thank you for calling Notary Assist. We're happy to help you. How can we help? And a lot of times you solve the problem in 2 seconds instead of having to send an email that gets lost in translation and somebody answers a question that you didn't ask. So we're trying to help you get in, get done, get on your way. I know how busy you are. I was a busy mom juggling all sorts of different things. I've been a loan signing agent since 1999, me and Prince. So we've been doing this a long time, and I understand the struggle is real and how to get in, get out, and do what you need to do, but do it efficiently and effectively. So it might not have been the smart. I could take people's credit cards up front, but I just feel like that's good karma going out. If you want to be with me, you'll be with me, and if you don't, it's okay. I'm not snagging money from you every month, and if you don't want it. So hopefully you can try that out and maybe see if that would work for you. Ask questions once you get it set up and see if that would be a good transition for you and your business.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
You're
you, Miss
welcome.
Angela. Now we have 2 more questions coming up. We did turn off the ability to chat at the moment, and we're going to get these last 2 questions asked. Now, guys, I do want to just take one quick segue. I'm not the only person that does marketing out there, and I hope that you are marketing your business. And Miss Sue, I know that you are doing some things to help with marketing notary businesses. Would you mind just giving us a few words about that, since you have been here with us all night? I don't want you to I don't want to overstep you because I keep talking about my marketing stuff, but everybody has something to offer out there, right? Like, I'm not the only one. But
no, there's lots of things out there. There are. And what I think is what I am trying to do for me, my side of things, is to not only tap in. You need Google My Business. If you're trying to get on the internet, you need to have a Google My profile. Why? Because it's free. It's free and it gets you across all of Google's platforms. So you want to take the time to set that up. The only problem with Google My Business is Google's not the easiest thing to work with all the time, and they're not very accessible if you get lost or get confused. So it's hugely important to have something like Ronnie's giving you to walk you through how to fill it out. And he's 100% right. Answering the questions that they're asking you is 100% the way to optimize your profile. But we do at Notary Assist is we try to expand that reach even further. So we would tap into our SEO program or our Notary Assist marketing program, which we just launched last October, not this current October, but a year ago. It's coming up on 1 year old. Is a platform where we are allowing notaries to have access to, at this point, we're 60 plus platforms to basically put a digital footprint out there so that you can get found and chosen in your local area. We're trying to help you when somebody types in notary near me, no matter what platform they're on, if they're on Google, MSN, AOL, Bing, Firefox, we want you to be found. It's great if you're on Google Chrome and you're typing it in, that'll help you with your Google My Profile. But if you're not, if it's not a Google profile, you might have a harder time getting there. But Google's huge. I mean, it's part of everything, and they're the big fish. So we try to help you get found in your local area. And then we also try to help you get great reviews. So we only publish 4 and 5 star reviews, and anything under that is an email directly to you. It's not published out on the web. So your rankings don't get hurt because you had somebody that you didn't click with. So we encourage you to get reviews because we know that's how you get traction. We know that's how you rise in the rankings. And by getting out there and doing all the things, the little things that constantly touch your different profiles, we give you one place where you can log in. If you're attending an event tonight and you can't be answering your phone or you don't want to take a call because you're doing Notary Stars, you can book yourself out. On one place, we push it to 60 plus platforms. So you don't have to log into every single platform and update your hours. We're trying to make it more efficient and easy to use. So we do have that available. It is $59.99 a month. It is a service. It's a subscription service and there's no contract. We're not asking you for a year. A lot of the ones out there that do these kind of things, they're asking you for a lot more money per month and they are committing you to a year when you sign a contract. I'm not doing that to you. So if you're interested in that, please, by all means, visit our website. There's a marketing button that you can click and you fill in an information form and then we give you a call back and we can talk to you about it even further. But we're just trying to help the notary not be stuck and go throw your hands up in the air going, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming. I don't have time for this. We're going to try and take the fear out of that, just like we're trying to take the fear out of taxes.
Two things I agree on that with is no contract, because we are contract free at Notary Stars. You pay for a month, you get a month. And then the other thing that you said that there was one more thing you said, I agreed with a lot that you said, but I agree with the no contract. We have one more question for tonight, which is from Denise Conti. I want to make sure I said that right.
Hi, Miss Denise.
Hi. I actually started my business in March, so not really a full year. Beth actually answered my question, but I really don't have a process, so I kind of have everything thrown in a folder. I know, shame on me. So I need to get some organization going.
There is no judging here. You're in a safe space because that's exactly how I started. And that's how Notary Assist became, because I literally was a pile of papers with eyelashes underneath them. That's it, because that's all I could see. So it had to change. So there's no judging here. You are identifying it. You're saying this has got to change. That's the first step. And we all started there. We all did. We all were brand new. We all were overwhelmed. So welcome. Congratulations on your new business. You got this. Try our free trial. You'll get started.
Okay, that sounds great. I sure will. Thank you.
You're welcome. I wanted to jump into Miss Debbie real quick. Miss Debbie, with your question about arrowing back and numerical keying, there is a section. If you click on the calendar, you can actually tab back to the month that you are looking for, which will make it much faster instead of just being on the calendar view and arrowing back each month. You can actually click on the calendar. It'll display, or you click on the date button and it'll show you each month. Select the month that you need to go back to and the date that you need to do it. It'll be much faster. Oh, look, I got a big thumbs up. Yeah, I hope that answered your question. There's a little widget there. I forgot about that little widget. And so utilize that little widget.
All right, everybody, if you don't mind turning on your cameras, and I would like to see as many faces as I can tonight. I love these sessions that we have together, and you guys are a lot like my family. I spend more time with you than I do my own mother. She's okay with it. We talk about it when we talk, but you guys are my family, and I'd like to see you guys turn on your camera so we can do our signature wave. I'd like to thank Miss Sue for being here tonight to help guide this conversation. I do want to thank Miss Beth as well. Miss Beth, that preamble and the research that you did in order from the last video for tonight and answering all the questions during the chat. I can't do this by myself. I have to thank these two for being here with me tonight. But I'd like to see all of your faces so we can do our signature wave. And wave to yourself. If you're not, wait, we got to do it right. If you're not naked and you are not stuffing your face with a sandwich right now, please turn on your camera. Wave to yourself if you watch the replay. Wave to that future notary who's going to be watching this and getting started in their business. And Miss Beth, how do we say it?
Just remember, as you go down through your notary journey, reach back, grab that notary behind you and bring them along with you. Help someone else. Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
Thank you, everybody.
You
have
guys
a
are our
wonderful
future.
evening.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
You have a wonderful evening, and don't forget, we do this every month.